Thank you for tuning in to watch our Invest Minneapolis-St. Paul Leadership Summit. You're about to watch the closing keynote by Jabor Frey, the mayor of the city of Minneapolis. Don't forget to like and subscribe to watch more videos like these. Enjoy.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you so much to the incredible people, including Abby Lindenberg, that helped get this whole thing set up. Can we give them a huge round of applause? And to Beth Leonard and the entire team at Capital Analytic Associates, we deeply appreciate you hosting today. My name is Jabor Frey. I'm the mayor of Minneapolis, and I've been to Invest Minneapolis several years going now. And so I get the opportunity right now to give you a little bit of rundown of the optimism that I presently have. The optimism that I have in terms of the trajectory we are on in terms of an inclusive economic recovery. The optimism I have in terms of the success that downtown is seeing. And I see Adam Dunnick, the chair of the Downtown Council, here with us. Optimistic in that people in our city are recognizing that this great Minneapolis comeback is not just about getting back to the old normal. It's about going by the old normal to see true transformation in our city. And we are prepared right now to make sure that the precisions of our solutions match the precision of the harm that was initially inflicted. And that harm was precise. So it's not just about saying the right words and having the right rhetorics that all of us are bound to screw up at some point. It's about having both a compassionate heart and an intention, the kind of long-term durability of work that actually allows us to make the change. And we have a recipe for success right here in Minneapolis. One, because we've got not just more Fortune 500 companies in virtually any city, any region in the entire country, but those companies care deeply, not just about their bottom line, but they recognize that the bottom line is tied directly to doing good community-based moral work. They recognize that it's not just about what saves the most money and where they locate their business, but how they can have the deepest impact on the communities that they're charged with serving and working for. And we're prepared to work directly with you at the city as well. I wanted to take a few moments to highlight some things that are good. Because we can dwell in the areas where we need to improve, and in 20 years from now, we're still going to have areas where we need to improve. But I also want us to take note of things that are going very well. First, in the area of housing, a spot that has always been a passion. Who knew that we were broadly recognized as the #1 housing city in the entire country? Anybody? We're literally #1. We are producing 8.5 times the amount of deeply affordable housing since before I took office. We have managed to keep rents down more than virtually any city in the entire country. We're either first, second, or third, depending on which chart you look at. We have passed policy that pushes back on the very intentional segregation that we've had over 100 years. We have maps at the city dating back 100 years old that quite literally designates the North Side as a slum for Blacks and Jews. And then when it became illegal to do that explicitly, we started to do the same things implicitly through a zoning code, setting it up so that unless you could own a really big home and a really big parcel, you couldn't live in huge swaths of the city. Well, we pushed back on that with a nation-leading policy that other cities and states around the country are now trying to copy. And I say, bring it on. Good mayors copy, great mayors steal. I've stolen quite a few things from other mayors, including our mayor right across the river, and I'm glad when they steal it from us, because this means good progress for people that should have the right to live in a great city. But we aren't stopping there. Safety is foundational to seeing investments and business success. Safety is foundational to ensuring that we've got inclusion. Recognizing that some of the neighborhoods that are the most impoverished, that have a cross-section of both poverty and pollution, are also the neighborhoods where we see violence at the highest rates. But right now, and I want you to tell everybody this, crime is down in virtually every category, in virtually every neighborhood across the city, whether it's homicides, shootings, carjackings, assaults, you name it, crime is down. And we're also recognizing that to tackle crime, it takes a comprehensive approach. Part of that is making sure we've got enough cops on hand. And we're not there yet, but I'm proud to tell you that we just saw a 135% increase in the applications to become a police officer. Our Minneapolis Police Department is more diverse than it has ever been in our city's history. And the officers that are coming on want to be part of that change. They want to get in at that ground level, being an example for other cities to follow. And so we want to set the tone. We want to acknowledge that we are the city where George Floyd was murdered. And we're the city that's going to make the necessary change to improve on where we once were. So that's not sitting on our hands and saying, well, a bad thing happened here. It was tragic. And let's get over it and move on. We're not asking anybody to move on. We are asking for people to move forward. Because we all need to. But we know that it's not just about cops. We're creating a comprehensive strategy for public safety. A strategy that includes matching a unique skill set with the unique circumstances that are happening on the ground. Sometimes that's a mental health responder. And we now have 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week mental health response. So, by the way, if you need a mental health responder, you can call 911. You can get one. We want to expand that out even more so that you've got violence prevention that can respond, or a social worker that can respond. And having that comprehensive system, again, allows us to match a unique skill set with whatever matter is happening on the ground at that particular moment. We also recognize that areas like where we are right now in downtown is dramatically changing. And we all need to change with it, because it's not going to be the cities that are clinging a white knuckle to what once was that ultimately are successful. It's going to be those that embrace change, that look to the future. Businesses that are creative and entrepreneurial and have that kind of spirit to push the envelope that ultimately results in a shift. And we're seeing that shift take place in real time. While we are getting back to occupancy in the city, every week we're adding more and more people. Every week, more and more businesses are recognizing that you lose out on something when people are not in person. I'm a huge advocate, by the way, of in-person work. I recognize that not everybody's going to do it all the time, but you kind of need to do it a lot of the time. And if you don't, not only are you not going to get the necessary promotional opportunities, but you won't get the kind of symbiosis. I always give people a statistic, which is that for every doubling of, for instance, the tech and the engineering population in a given space, you get about a 40% bump in patents. So if you have 4 tech, engineering, scientific people, you can tell them you have none of those things. But if you have 4 of them, you get 1 patent. It's expected if you got 8, you get 2. But in fact, you get like 3. And so we need to keep that congregation of both people and ideas. And we also know that we're not going to get back to the 100% capacity of where we were pre-pandemic. This whole concept of remote distance work was probably inevitable, but it got expedited by 5 to 8 years by COVID-19. It's happened. And so what are we going to do with that remaining 15 to 20% worth of the space? Well, a lot of that space is going to be transitioned to residential. More people want to live downtown. By the way, for those that say nobody lives downtown, downtown's not a neighborhood, or downtown is dead, let me give you a statistic. There's more people in downtown than the entire city of Edina. There's more people in downtown than most of all of the surrounding suburbs. And so people want to live downtown. In fact, I'm moving my parents out from the East Coast in the next, hopefully, few weeks to downtown. Why? Because it's an awesome place to be. And we need to be converting as many of these specifically older pre-World War II buildings that are more ripe for that conversion to residential. And the reason these older ones are more amenable, by the way, is because you can open a window on these older buildings. The floor plate looks better for a residential boilerplate, and the glass skyscrapers. That's never going to be converted in large form anyway, and so we need to be moving the businesses from those older buildings into the newer, sleek. We're not stopping there. We're also recognizing that it's got to be about entertainment. Downtown in our city can be more of a playground, and whether that's Dinner de Nord, which is going to be a massive thousands and thousands of person dinner, where we highlight all of the local restaurants that are right on Nicollet Mall. We're going to shut down Nicollet Mall. We're going to have a huge dinner out. Or that's the Pride Festival, which attracted, I don't know how many thousands. Or Taste of Minnesota, which had about the best problem that I can imagine. They had too many people. 135,000 people came to Taste of Minnesota. And probably there were even more there were probably a good chunk of them also that didn't get in. These are good problems to have. And we also need to recognize that, we are in some chaotic times. And I won't get too political, but I will get a little. We have major issues and concerns about the endurance of our republic with Donald Trump in the White House. I'm deeply concerned about the funding that cities around the country to do the work that all of us depend on, about that funding's ability to continue. And I also recognize that the opposite of Donald Trump extremism is not the opposite extremes. There are more than a few people that have told me that the best way to counter Donald Trump is by running to the opposite extreme. The opposite of extremism is not the opposite extreme. It's good, thoughtful governance. Good, thoughtful public service, which, by the way, includes our private sector, where we listen to data. We trust experts. We work with each other. We love our neighbors. And we love our city and the work that we're doing more than our respective ideologies. That's got to be the way that we are continuing right now. Because if it's just a pendulum that's swinging violently back and forth, we are not going to get where we need to go. And we have a massive opportunity right now because in Minneapolis, people truly get it. Businesses truly want to be involved with their community. They understand that we've got to undo some of these injustices that have taken place. They understand that change was necessary. You all are here in large part because of it. And so if you're thinking about investing, if you are investing, and I'm looking around the room, you're investing in Minneapolis just by your presence here, whether it's through the employees that you hire or it's the parking meter that you just paid outside, you're investing in our city. And we have to be at the point right now where we are truly working together and investing in the greater good. And I'm just so damn optimistic that we're ultimately going to be able to do that. And, as I look around the room, I know of the work that Abby has done to bring people together. And I'm just so appreciative of that amazing endurance that you yourself has had, that grit, that long-term both perseverance and daily dedication that gets you to this kind of work and a long-term success of an organization like this one. I'm appreciative of groups like Alina that invested over $1 billion to double down in a neighborhood that has that cross-section of both poverty and pollution. I'm appreciative of so many businesses that had every opportunity to jump ship through some of the most difficult times. And I don't know, head out to the suburbs, but instead they say, you know what, we care about Minneapolis, we care about the Twin Cities, we want to not just stick around and stay. And by the way, now you will be seeing, you're going to be reaping the benefit of that smart decision because the city is coming back. Virtually every statistic is showing that Minneapolis is rebounding in fine form. And I know that it is in huge part because of the work that you all are doing. And so as mayor, position I'm honored to hold of the 435,000 people that are residents here and the many more that work here and come and go. I'm honored to work with you. I'm thankful and grateful for all of the work that you have done on behalf of our city and our region and your respective businesses. And I want to see that trajectory continue in great form. So thank you so much. Great to be here.